Hey friends, I'm Steph from cheapskatecook.com and stephaniejenkins.com, and today we're going to make some whole grain banana bread. So it's banana bread, but I'm going to show you some ways to make it healthier without using a bunch of weird ingredients. And then I want to show you a few simple substitutions you can make if you need something low gluten or dairy free or even egg free. So let's get cooking. Okay, this is whole grain banana bread, which means you can use whole wheat, but this recipe is very flexible, so you can also use just white flour. If that's all you have, just use white flour. You can also use spelt flour if you need a low gluten recipe. So this right here is spelt flour and a little bit of whole wheat because I didn't have quite enough spelt flour to make this whole recipe, and it's going to work just fine. So you can use a combination of whole wheat and white flour. You can use all spelt flour. This recipe is very flexible, so just use whatever kind of flour you want. And then for sweetener, you can use sugar if that's what you have. You can use the slightly healthier forms of granulated sugar like turbinado or sucanut. So you can use just a regular ingredient that everybody has in their kitchen, or you can use the kind of like healthier, nerdier versions. It's gonna work great. You can also use maple syrup or honey. These are also pretty normal ingredients, and these are natural sweeteners, so I like to use them in my baked goods if I can. So rather than using sugar today, I'm going to use maple syrup, but you can use both. Keep in mind that you're going to use different amounts of sugar versus like a liquid sweetener like maple syrup and honey, which I have detailed in the recipe. And then also keep in mind that honey is about twice as sweet as maple syrup. So if I use maple syrup, my banana bread is not going to turn out as sweet as if I used honey or sugar. But in this case, this is what I have, so I'm going to use this. Next, you can use melted butter or you can use oil. So if you're dairy free, feel free to use some kind of neutral tasting oil. This could be melted coconut oil, or this is avocado oil. Or if you're not dairy free and you want to make sure that you're being really budget friendly, just use some butter and melt it, and that way you're using some kind of a natural oil versus like canola or vegetable oil, but it's also more budget friendly than some of the like fancier oils. We're going to use some eggs, but if you are egg free, then you can totally substitute this with a flax egg or a chia egg. Those things are going to require you to find chia seeds or flax seeds, which depending on where you live in the world might be easier to find than others. You can probably find sources online, but those are one of the least expensive egg replacers that I have found for our baked goods. And it's not like a powdered egg substitute that has lots of different kinds of ingredients. It's just ground flax and hot water, or ground chia seeds and hot water. It works great, we love it, it works really well for our egg-free kiddo, but today we're just gonna keep it normal and I'm gonna make you some egg-full banana bread. And then the only other ingredients that you need are 3 mashed bananas, disgusting, and some salt and some baking soda. That's it. Real quick tip for the bananas. If you have bananas that are going bad, but you don't have time to make banana bread, just throw them into the freezer, whole, unpeeled, no problem, just freeze them. And then later on, you take them out, put them in a bowl or some kind of a container, let them thaw overnight in the fridge, and then in the morning, if you cut the peel, the banana will slide right out. It's really disgusting, just a warning, it's disgusting when you do it. But then you just give it a good stir and it's all mashed and it's no problem, and you didn't have to do any extra work. And then we're gonna go ahead and crack the eggs in. Now, I get my eggs from a neighbor who has chickens in her backyard, and whenever you get really fresh eggs like that, then you want to crack them into a bowl separately, just in case you get a fertilized egg or a bad egg. It's just a safer thing to do. And here's a quick tip. If you are using a liquid sweetener like maple syrup, then you want to use the same container that you used to measure out the oil or the fat. When you add the maple syrup to that container, it's gonna slide right out. It's not gonna stick to the edges. You know how honey can like stick to the edges of the bowl and you have to use a spatula? Well, that's not gonna happen if there was oil in the container beforehand. Hey, really quick, if you have any questions about substituting ingredients, whether that is for food allergies or for like budget-friendly swaps, drop them in the comments below. Whenever I thaw a stick of butter, then I take the wrapper, which still has lots of butter stuck to it, and I put it in a container and then put it in my fridge so that I can use it to grease a pan later on. So you just unfold it, it's still got all this butter on it, and I use it to grease my loaf pan for the banana bread. And that's how we make whole grain banana bread. It's a really easy recipe, nothing really fancy, but it is so flexible. You can substitute ingredients, you can kind of just tweak it, make it work for you, and I hope you try it. Special thanks to Kitchen Stewardship for collaborating with us in this video. I'm Steph from cheapskatecook.com and stephaniejenkins.com, and don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button for more ways to save money and eat healthy. And that's how allergies or healthy swaps, a bunch of weird ingredients. So it should just